everybody, and happy Wednesday. So I thought I would show you what might be a new technique for some, in case you want to do a hand felted flower as your focal point for any of your embroidery work, and especially because Roxy's Journal of Stitchery for, what month are we? February. I nearly said March. For February is featuring a focal flower or flowers. And so I thought that I would do some hand felting, hand pricking of this flower here. It's very windy. We've got gales here. So if you hear all whistling and whooshing noises, sorry. It's typical gales by the seaside. Okay, so I've got a piece. So you need what do you need? Well, you don't need too much really. I've got my pricking mat, and I use this. I used to use this for card making anyway, for if I was doing pricking on paper, and we might do that one day. Let me know if you fancy doing a bit of pricking on paper, pricking designs, because that can look really, really effective in your work. So I've got my pricking mat. It's a bit of foam, you know, that children's foam, craft foam, very dense foam. So I use that as my pricking mat. And you need to get yourself, I mean, I've got some scraps, some felted felt. Now that might sound strange, because we just think felt all is like, you know, like this. It's not all the same standard, but this is quite inexpensive from Hobbycraft, and I use this as a back. So you need to have, you know, some inexpensive backing felt to felt onto. And all I've done here is I've drawn a flower onto this scrap of felt. You're not going to see all these marks, so I've done it on felt pen so you can see it. And we're going to do some hand felting of that. Now, for hand felting, it's got all sorts of bits in it. I've had this for quite a long time, so you know, you look around on Etsy, look around in your craft stores, you know, you can get this felt in wool, and you can get it in all sorts of dyed colours. So I've chosen some greens out today because we're doing a flower. Another bit of like a aqua green there. Picks up all sorts of bits of thread though, that's the only thing. A bit of brown in case we want to do a little bit in the centre there. And then you can get all sorts of, depends on how you get into it. Then this is a little bit of, this is sheep's wool that I've got in my stash. And you can actually buy, you will sometimes see, felt cocoons, and they always remind me a little bit of wasps' nests, the little round weaving round of wool. You can get what they call throaster's waste and cocoons and things. These are all scrap ends of the mills, from the mill industry, and they are great to use in any of your projects. So you can get those. I've never done anything with the cocoons. I've never bought those. But if you just get silk, you can get silk, throasters, silk, you know, all the bits that they throw out from the factory when they're making garments. Then it's sold on to the craft industry, sewing industry, etc. So get yourself a little bit. You don't have to buy large amounts. I did go, when we first came here, so it's probably 11 years ago when I went and did a course on felting. And at some stage I keep promising that I'm going to actually show you some, you know, some hand felted, not the pricked, what we're doing today, the hand pricking, but actually making felt. I think we'll have a go at that because it's quite good fun. And that's all you need really. There's lots of Etsy shops. No Steph Francis sells it. Natalie Stewart sells it. The general craft stores, I don't think, like Hobbycraft perhaps doesn't, but you'll find it in knitting and sewing shops, that sort of thing. And then I've got my very sharp felting needle. Now you can, and those of you that follow Ariane Zersha and seen some of the felting she does, she's got a little contraption which is a little round contraption, plastic, and it's got several of these felting needles in it. Makes it quicker if you're doing large areas. And basically you click it down and all the needles come down. You click it down like that and it felts for you. Now I haven't got that because I am lucky enough to have a felting machine. Just like a sewing machine, but it's a felter. So I never got one of them stabber things, because if I want to make any large projects, then, you know, I use my machine. It's in the loft at the minute. Something else. It's a good job we've got this big loft. Okay, so let's have a go. We did some December dailies. We last did some felting. 2020. Or it'd be 19. Last year was 21. No, it'd be 20. 2020. We did some, so I'll link that in the cards if we can. Now in the middle, I think I'm going to just have, and don't want to do great big tufts to start with. Start with small areas, because if you just put great big tufts down, it's harder to shape, and it's pretty hard work. So you think that's quite a lot, but once we start felting it, and just be mindful, guys, of your fingers. If you do it like this, keep your fingers well away, because there's no guards on these type of felting needles. So you just keep your hands well out of the way, and we do a bit of draw it in and stab, draw it in and stab. It's very therapeutic. You know, if you're having a bad day, ooh, take that, you know, and take your frustrations out on a bit of felting. It does wonders for you. It does, seriously. I find it really relaxing. And I love to hear it squelching, you know, the noise it makes when it's felting. So I'm just going to put a base layer down of all the shapes to start with. And you'll be able to see that if you can still see fibres sticking up. Now don't go mad and go, ooh, all the way through the pricking mat. You don't need to do that. That's why I always use, and it'll stick a bit to your mat, look. That's why I always use a sheet of felted fabric underneath it. And then it does felt better. You can felt with all sorts of different fabrics and things on the machine, but if you're doing hand felting, scrim cheesecloth, very good for doing this. Get nice results. Okay, now we've got a bit round there, so let's put my needle in there for safety. Just get into habit of safe working, really. I think if you get in the habit of safe working, make sure your needle's, you know, out of harm's way when you're doing something else. Just slowly, when you've got till you get it into place, keeping your fingers out of the way, but drawing it in. And you can speed up then. Once you've got the general shape and it's locked in, you can then speed up a bit. Does it sound lovely? I love it. Love it. Do it straight up. Sometimes it's hard, you can't help it, you get it a bit slanted, but the straighter you have the needle, it felts better. Right, I want a little bit, I think we'll have a little bit of mixed in with that, a little bit of this brown colour, so we'll have a little bit of that mixed in, just to you know, just to give it a slightly different tone. So very slowly till you get it embedded. There you are, draw it in. So I hope you're all doing well, and I enjoyed doing yesterday's button challenge. Okay, that'll do us for now. I don't want to carry on, but you know, showing you the whole lot, because I'll go off and do some of that off camera and show you the finished piece. Okay, so we'll put our needle in there. I'm going to use a bit of this curly sheep, and a bit more tricky because it's really wavy. You can see how wavy it is. Nice to have a proper bit of nature, you know, in your work when you've got something like this in it. You know, and it's not touched because it's not dyed, it's undyed, untreated. Well, it'd be treated, you know, like a sterilisation process. It's not like we're going to be, you know, finding a load of grass on it or other such things that sheep do. I was trying to be polite. Can you see this is taking more doing, but I like the effect it gives. So just going to cut a bit off. Okay, so carry on now. Bit of green. I'm going to cut it because it's okay, so we'll start down here. Again, mindful of your fingers. Take it round to your shape. You could then, you see, once you've felted this, you can then go round and embroider around the leaves if you wanted, so that you've got more separation between. Or you could put some black or brown, some really dark brown edging around your leaves so that it's more prominent that it's the shape of the leaf. Now you can see, if you feel it, you can tell when it's not felted enough because you can still see the fibres sticking up. You can see the little fine hairs. You can see why, can't you, that you only want to do a small project in this method with just this one needle, because you know it takes a lot of felting, just this small project. But you know, there's no rush. It's just makes your wrist hurt. But if you do it in small doses, but as I say, I find it very therapeutic. just take that in a bit because we're trying to get that round, aren't we? Okay. Put this piece down here. I'm going to move it a bit so you can move it round. That's it, slowly, keep your fingers out of the way. Telling myself more than anything, more than telling you guys. Okay, so I'm going to move this up here a little bit, even it out. It's a bit too bulky there. So, you know, just move it around. Okay guys, what I'll do is I'll leave you here and then I'll do some more of this off camera because I'm sure you don't want to watch me for a full hour just felting this. So I'll come back to you when I've done some more. Okay, so I had to change my needle. It bent. I tried to straighten it up and it snapped off. So yeah, make sure you get a little stock of needles in, because nothing more frustrating than being halfway through your project and your needle snaps. Right, the only thing I'm not happy with is this here. I want to elongate it a bit, so just build it up. Just add a little bit more on what you've already got and do it into the shape you want. See, just snapped it on the last lap. Need to get some more of these. I've had them quite a long while, so yeah, you know, I don't know if the steel weakens over time, I'm not sure. That's better, I'm happier with that. It's got a nicer shape, just a matter of felting it in. And just keep adding. If you think there's not enough, just keep adding. It's easier to add small layers than just put a great big wodge on at once. Just finish felting it round there. Draw it in if you want to get it more shaped. That's it, I'm happy with that. I mean, you could go on for a bit more, you know, it's not felted as much as it could be, but I've just rushed through it for you so that you can see. So there we are. See, it's all felted through on the back. There's our flower, there's our hand felted flower, and we can put that on one of our stitchery pages now. So thanks so much for joining me today. Hope that's been interesting for you if you've not seen that before, and a little bit of a refresher if you have. If you've been with me a while, you'll have seen the one we did for the December dailies 2020, so I'll try and link that one up. I think we did a snowman actually, so yeah, have a look at that one as well. It'll just give you a bit more of an idea. So thanks so much for joining me, and happy stitching. Hope you're enjoying doing your Roxy's journal stitchery journal, and I'll see you next video. Bye for now.